everyone, and welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live broadcast brought to you by Frontline Gaming. We are your hosts, Kicker, the Chief of Serial, and Sigilite of the FLG. And I'm Seth, the Mad Dog, your competitive correspondent. Happy New Year, Kicker. How have you been?
Happy New Year! I guess this is the first episode of the brand new year, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
If it seems like I'm slightly jet lagged, it's because I'm slightly jet lagged. I just got back home from overseas, and I'm happy to be here recording with my bestie. Thank you, Seth, for accommodating me. As usual, being slightly late to the pre-show. Seth, I like what you did here.
That part, right? They don't know.
Right.
They don't know.
They don't need to know what's going on. They don't. Seth, by the way, guys, if you're listening to our podcast, please consider watching us so you can see the cool graphics like Seth has right here. Every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're live on YouTube and all the streams. But Seth, today you've blessed our studio with the Las Vegas Open symbol.
It's true because this is the one of several Las Vegas Open centric episodes that'll be on the way. So I figured a little branding.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, guys, the Las Vegas Open is basically 2 weeks away. We are getting close. We're getting close.
Yeah,
and I'm really nervous.
Here. Yeah.
I've got so much work to do. Speaking about that, we usually do our hobby progress section here. My hobby progress has been the LVO.
Oh, yeah, I think that counts as hobby progress.
Counts as hobby
Next time
progress.
I'll just put the logo in on the slides for your hobby progress.
Yeah,
Kicker work on LVO this week.
Well, I really do pride myself in making sure I still play the game every week and paint almost every single day. But right now we're in this. I mean, I was traveling a little bit for fun with the family, but I really am working so many hours right now. I just don't have literally daylight hours to paint or play right now as we go into LVO. I mean, just the logistics involved are, especially this year as it's gotten significantly bigger, both the convention side and the tournament side, that it's
almost like someone titled the episode LVO Bigger and Better Than Ever.
I see what you did there. Yeah, well done. So Seth, I don't have any fancy hobby progress to show off this week. Next week I should have finished one more of my giant knights, which I'm really excited about. But what have you been up to, buddy? So we had this holiday. Did you spend your holiday time wisely?
I did. If anyone out there has ever played the video game The Last Spell, which is an extremely hard game, I managed to beat the 4th and 5th levels, which were the last 2 levels, which was really, really hard, but it was a lot of fun. And I then started playing a different game called Against the Storm. Watched some movies.
These are not 40K hobby.
I know,
regulated.
I'm getting them out of the way.
Okay.
And then while watching some movies, I did decide to catch up on some backlog of models. I've had the original Red Gobbo for a while, so I got him painted up. I got some new paints over Christmas, so I kind of use those for the bulbs, give them that kind of shiny bulb look. And then I had the one on the Squig version, so I did him as well. I'm super happy with how these turned out. I painted one Votan model for an event I'm going to this weekend over in Valdosta, Georgia. But it was just another bike, like one of 12 I have, so I thought that wasn't exciting, so I painted these guys up just to have.
But you got these two commemorative, holiday gobbos, right, Seth? I got a little gift from you. Our friends from GW sent us the 2023 holiday, goblins, I guess. Well, and I've got one. When I see it at LVO, I got them there for
awesome,
you. Ready for you to paint them. Those models, though, I think you can still get them, but they are only limited edition. Those are
grab them while you want them.
Grab them while you want them, because they're gorgeous models. Are a lot of fun, and when they're gone,
I had fun because I never really had painted a snow base, and so I really wanted to try to do a nice snow effect there. And then I wanted it to be different than the white fur on the red coat. And then I wanted the beard to be so I got it to play around doing with 3 different whites at the same time, and try to make them all still look white but different white.
No, it looks good, man. So I was actually skiing on a glacier the last week. That was.
I went to see the snow in person.
So I generally I was getting I always get inspired by where I'm at physically in the world. Is that a cool army theme? And I was like, oh, dude, maybe I can do a cool ice world snow theme. But then I started thinking oh man, I don't think I really want to paint white. White is a challenging color to paint, but you pull it off, dude. I was thinking white camo would look so badass, but I'm intimidated. But after seeing this, I guess 3 shades of white on your model, I'm like, okay, cool. I think
now, Kicker, I don't think I've shown you this yet, but I've been messing around with an AI art generator, and on the side, I've been doing some powerlifting for the last like 2 years. So I was trying to inspire
Oh,
myself.
just look at that. Like we got I got a little humble brag here, and you got to look at that. Damn, dude, guys. For those of you not watching, just listening to our podcast, we have a very I guess buffed up orcs are already buff, right? I don't know how you would describe this.
But if you run into this orc, even a space marine's like, damn, all right.
I guess he works out, right?
Yeah. Crap. So
by the way, chat, we love having you guys. Seeing like we have a very lively, active chat tonight. I love that. Yeah. So, Seth, you need to work around with more AI stuff. That looks like a lot of fun.
I tried so many variations to like get a little bit more of this or that on that guy, and it just like that was like the first or second like prompt I put into it, and I got that image, and then it drifted out of control quickly. So I stayed there.
Guys, Seth is really one of my close dear friends, and I'm going to take this opportunity to brag about Seth right now to the world. Seth, you hit a max with one of your lifts recently, right?
Yeah. So
you can share. Story. Come on, dude. This is big news.
So I've been trying to build up like to the amateur level of powerlifting, which are certain like percents of body weight you need to lift, and so I managed to squat 370. I was very excited until I realized I feel like my squat depth wasn't deep enough. So I bought a training box, like just a
of course,
CrossFit that's 12 inches tall.
Yeah.
So that I was like, my butt has to go all the way to the box.
Yeah.
Oh, good God, that hurts.
Yeah, right.
So I've been working on it. So my stated goal, I told the Vanguard guys this already, but my stated goal for 2024 is to hit 600 on the deadlift.
Damn, dude.
I think it's 600 on the deadlift, and I think it's like a 500-pound squat is the goal.
Oh jeez, yeah, right.
We're gonna get there. We're just it's a 5-day-a-week grind. If you see
and
me
you're doing it
around,
all just so you can be a better 40K player, picking up those models,
so I can carry my teammates on my shoulders.
Exactly. No, very well done.
It was a back squat Dorian. Sometime kicker. I'll show you a workout. This is way deep cuts that I've saw some like bodybuilder do on YouTube called the Litmanoff. I'll show you him doing it, but it's 3 sets. So you do a set of 10 front squats at 410 pounds, and then do a 400-meter dash in 75 seconds immediately. Like set the weight down and run.
And so I used to do a lot of WODs and that kind of thing, and that is brutal, man. To go from doing any sort of squat, weighted squat, to sprinting, like that, just your legs are wobbly, man.
And he did that for 3 sets.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was just like, and this is like some like Russian shot putter from the 80s, and you're like, how? He had to be on all the drugs to do that. Anyway, that was a complete tangent.
All right, guys, enough about how in shape Seth and I are. Let's talk about 40K industry news, guys. Games Workshop has released their 2023 miniature of the year.
Drumroll.
Seth, was I correct? You
were correct. It was the Primarch himself, Lionel Johnson, came in first. I heard many angry cries that Angron was robbed.
He was number 2, right? He came in second, right?
But
and do we know who came in third? I know I
have to go back and look. I can't.
Whatever.
Remember.
The point is, we know is the big boy Primarchs coming in first and second there. Lionel, there's just more Space Marine players than anyone else, and so I kind of figured, like it's got to be a Space Marine thing because there's a lot of Space Marine fanboys. So congrats to Lionel for becoming the miniature.
Congrats to Lionel. He definitely didn't put a blade to the voters' throats because that's definitely a thing Lionel would do.
Okay,
like if there's a vote, you're all voting for me, and if you don't,
you're all. So we got this Dark Angel Primarch here getting miniature of the year, but guess what, guys? The Dark Angels are getting more love with this brand new Terminator box set coming out. It looks like it was revealed on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I like that. They were like, "Here's your Christmas present, everyone."
Yeah, and it's a pretty cool set. You got the sorry, bear with me. It's the Deathwing, right?
Yeah.
So it's Deathwing. Terminator.
It's Inner Circle in general. Because I think they have Inner Circle Companions is what the new sculpt is in there.
Sounds a little clicky to me, like high school I don't know.
Oh, that's definitely Dark Angels. If you've not read that's definitely Dark Angel lore. They are clicky jocks. I'm sorry.
Well, so they got the Inner Circle. We've also got do we have a character, right? There was a character.
So this is Belial. He is the master of the Deathwing. So he got a new sculpt. He's looking good. They had, I think Yeah, here we go. This is the companions, and I do have to steal my favorite joke from Grim After Dark this week, which is now Dark Angels players will have to learn how to paint a fourth color: black, green, bone, and now red.
Yeah, perfect. Chat, tell us what you think. Do you like these new models? Well, so we've got these Dark Angel ones, right? This is all great. They're new and shiny, but we've also got Old World incoming. This is going up for pre-order this weekend. Wow. Okay, I know there's a long wait. There's some serious fanboys that love
I love that
the
they
world
brought
of
back
square
the whippy sticks.
Right? Oh, jeez. Yeah, right, dude. So Old World's coming back. It's not only got those little sticks, dude. It's got templates. It's got the circular templates. It is
movement trays, the circular templates.
There's a lot of nostalgia there, man.
Everything's
lots of nostalgia. You're going to get Knights of Bretonnia, which is going to be a full box set. You're also going to have the Tomb Kings with another box set. Both these box sets include, quite a few miniatures, as well as the rule book and basically what you need to start playing. What's important to note here is that the majority of the miniatures in these box sets are not new miniatures, guys. They are the original sculpts. They've thrown in I think one or two characters.
Yeah, I
or
think
miniatures
for the Bretonians it was the lady. Someone's gonna
and well, there's I think a Pegasus riding dude.
He's kind of down there, kind of center of the image towards the bottom. And then they had like a little dragon looking thing for the Tomb Kings. Yeah.
And listen, hey, it's cool. It's a new game system. Let's the community is going to determine if they love it. Let's see who ends up playing this. I'll tell you from my perspective, I'm interested to see it. I always like seeing a new game system. But what I see, because I guess I'm the events manager for Frontline, I see a lot of people always asking for us to start playing certain game systems. I've seen a massive number of TOs from around the country that have apparently been running Old World or Fantasy for a long time, saying like, I'm ready now to start running an Old World tournament. So we won't have it for LVO because it's just not realistic.
Yeah, I mean, the pre-order, it's up for pre-order next week. So the earliest street date would be literally LVO.
Yeah. And so we're not doing it LVO, even as an after hours thing. We're not doing it, at least not formally. Hell, if you got your Old World models and you want to go play,
the book, no one can stop you.
Yeah, no one's going to stop you.
I might stop you if you're keeping me from going to bed.
But at Cherokee, at Rocky Mountain, at Atlantic City Open, I think ACO for sure will be having Old World, and if we can find a way to make it happen at RMO, I'd love to do so. Cherokee might be a little too close as well, but yeah, it's cool. There's a lot of, and this is a full release. It's not just these two box sets. Of course, you're getting the other hard rule books.
Multiple rule books for the forces of essentially good, the forces of fantasy, and the Ravening Horde, essentially the rules for the evil armies. Kind of think of these as your indexes is the best way to describe them.
Yeah. And then Seth, I see that you already tallied these up for me. We got 8 individual box sets for Bretonnian units. So you're getting all that fun stuff. Of course, the cool dice, because everyone likes dice. And they're going to have their card deck there, which I guess will have special reference cards and whatnot. And of course, the 9 box sets for the Tomb Kings, plus the dice and the cards, et cetera, et cetera. Now, we got to talk about something that's also old, but not as old as Old World. I don't know what the 40K made to order Space Marines and Chaos Space Marines. I think there's a Necron one as well. It's interesting that they're going back to these old models and making them made to order just for funsies, I guess. I mean, do you think, Seth, it's kind of like a fun collector's item? Is that why they're doing these?
I think it's a fun collector's item. I think it's also a chance. So sake of argument, you're someone like me who recently started collecting Necrons. And I really, I bought the army that I had painted for our friend Shelby, but I really hadn't bought any models for myself. And then the Codex released, and I started picking up some models. If I wanted some of the older sculpts, my only option is a secondhand market. So I see it. It's kind of I like that they're doing it when they're kind of also sort of timing it around certain codexes. So I like that. It gives people that are maybe a newer fan to that faction a chance to pick up some of those models without having to hit the secondhand market, because some secondhand prices can vary. Sometimes some models are more expensive than they were MSRP. Sometimes they're less. So if they've got the molds and they're going to do it made to order, and you don't need it, tomorrow for an event, then hey, I mean. I'm sure you have some armies, Kicker, that you're like, I just have to have the thing because it's the thing for my my collection.
Yeah, of course. Any single Astra Militarum or Imperial Guard model,
some armies you're just like, I have built the army the way I want it. I don't need to add to it right now. And so for me, it's orcs. Whenever there's an orc thing, I'm just like, just go ahead and put it in the cart, GW. You know. But
okay. Can we talk about that? There was the little preview, the shadowy effect of the orc model. You freaked out, buddy, in our chat.
Did.
You were like,
I did because I was like, that is 100% a big mech model with a gun. And
okay,
I'm
let's
like,
give some context here, Seth. For those that are not, there was a silhouette of what's coming in 2024, right? There's
and
three
I think
models.
there was one that is definitely an orc Big Mac. There's one that everyone thinks is like some sort of Kroot riding some sort of cavalry thing, which there used to be.
I'm sold. If that is Kroot riding cavalry, as you know, I don't want to go into the details, but I don't know what it is any more than anyone else would, but I do have a bunch of Kroot on my desk just because I think they're cool models. I don't play Tau or anything. I just like Kroot. If that is Kroot cavalry, as it appears to be, and the rumors are all saying, then like, boom, I'm in.
There used to be some Forge World models called Krootox, or Krootox Riders are the Finecaster metal kits.
Oh, what were they called, dude? There was something. Narlock
Riders, that's right.
There you
go. And so, you know, there was something, and if you look at what they've done with the Space Marine range, they've taken a lot of the Space Marine Forge World kits, and they've been bringing them over as plastic, so I could totally see them doing something like that.
Dude, if there's a Kroot, if there's a Kroot cavalry, you know, army option, or at least a unit that I can
cavalry army, you're just in. It doesn't matter.
Hundreds, I'm buying it all. Just all immediately.
Admech, Astra Militarum.
Yeah.
If they do Tau, you'll do that. You know.
Yeah. I got to.
You're like Sisters Cavalry Army. You're like, I guess I'm collecting Sisters now.
I guess I'm doing Sisters. What was the third one though, Seth?
The third one, there was some debate. Some people were saying it was a Votan model. Some were saying a Custode. My personal opinion is it's a Custode because the weapon he's holding looks like the Guardian staff they have. And if you look at, we went back, go back to our last episode where we talked about the roadmap for 2024.
Exactly.
Custodes is on the roadmap. So I'm like, why would they be previewing a Votan model when Votan are not on the roadmap?
Custodes, Tau, and
Orcs are all on the roadmap for the spring or summer. So it makes sense that they're like, hey guys, guess what's coming? Some more of the things that you knew about. So
it just seems to make sense that those would be.
So I'm excited for it. I collect orcs, obviously. I have a Tau army. I collect a lot for that too. So I'll definitely be grabbing the orc model. If that is.
What do you think the orc model is? Because you are an expert in.
Like I said, I think it's a character. I think it's a big mech with a special gun. Whether that's a special character that maybe they introduced with the Codex, or just a new big mech. They already have a big mech with a shock attack gun, so I don't see them really adding another unless they're doing a dual build kit. But
is the big mech with shock attack gun an old model?
No, it's a newer plastic clamshell. I would say it was the 8th edition Codex that came out. So it's not very old. In fact, they had an older model that was fine cast in metal, and they released a plastic one in 8th. So I don't think they would be like, hey, we're scrapping that mold and making a multi-build kit. So that's why I think maybe it's a special character. Maybe it's another big mech that became, they have like Gazgul, they have Zagstruck. They don't have a special character big mech. So
that makes sense. That makes total sense. And there's enough like vehicles now for the orc army between all the buggies and whatnot that it would make sense.
An entire walker army to the narrative.
Yeah, a whole walker. Jeez. One last thing that we got to talk about, which just I don't think anyone was expecting. I mean, there's no rumors about this. This just came out of nowhere. Was the made to order Battle for Macragge? I can't remember what edition that was, but that's old.
It had to be Battle for Macragge. Had to be 5th edition was Black Reach,
and I think it was 4th. Was it 4th?
Yeah, it's got to be 4th edition because 5th edition was Black Reach. 6th edition was Dark Vengeance.
Yeah. So, guys, Battle for Macragge is Space Marines versus the Tyranids. There's like a crash fighter jet.
And that's what everyone's excited about because that is a cool piece of terrain that was really hard to get.
Yeah, that terrain set is. Listen, I don't think too many people are excited about old Marines and old Nids when you have the brand new shiny stuff. Yeah. But the terrain is very cool.
My favorite joke I've heard is someone said, "I guess GW found a pallet of those somewhere."
I mean, geez, who knows, right? But it is another one of those things that's kind of cool, like nostalgia.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely cool. And again, I can see a lot of people just staying on that box set just to get the terrain. You're right. The Space Marine and the Tyranid sculpts are definitely going to be old because there are literally new Gaunt and Gene Sealer sculpts with the newest NID release. And those would be old Firstborn scale Marines, which there's been from 4th edition. I think there's been at least 2 different tactical Marines kits since then.
They're going to look really tiny next to a present day miniature. So,
okay, as you get older, eventually, Kicker, you stop getting taller and you start getting shorter.
Yeah, and your
Fourth
feet get
edition.
bigger, man. Apparently your feet get bigger, so that's a
I
thing.
hope not. I smashed the crap out of my foot tonight, and I don't need it to get any bigger.
I'm half your height, but I got size 12 feet, which is ridiculous. I'm basically a hobbit, is where I'm at right now in life.
Fair.
So, all right, Seth, let's talk about some Frontline gaming stuff real fast. The LVO, we're going to talk about in a little bit because that's kind of our main segment for the night. But Cherokee rooms were added, guys. Cherokee's been sold out now in the room block. I think 2 times. We've added rooms 1 time. I don't think we can add rooms again. Get them if you can. I don't even know if there's any more left at this point.
There's usually not a whole lot of other housing options around Cherokee.
Yeah, you can bring a tent and go camp, basically. That's your other option.
It's February and
right.
It's not that cold. It might be cold.
There's a few other places, but being on site is very good. And this
on-site
particular
is very
hotel
nice. I've been on
very
on-site
affordable, and it's a wonderful place. Yeah, so like, just it seems like it's a no-brainer there. Rocky Mountain Open, where we tell us in chat. But Seth, I'm going to use you right now as a quick focus group. What do we want for our food trucks? We can get food trucks, and there's like 50 different food trucks that want to come. So we're limited to about 5 food trucks, and there's like 50 that want to come.
You have to think, Kicker. You need something that is filling but portable.
Yeah, it's got handheld. Like, it's got to be hand. Like, you got to be.
Once upon a time went to an event where they had a food truck that sold baked potatoes. Those were filling but not portable.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like a taco or burrito truck, but they can't be too runny. I hate runny, like where they put a bunch of liquid in, because then it's like you can't eat it and walk because it's
dripping down your arm, and then
so
totally.
Good tacos, pizza, burgers, like those. Yes, those are like not so healthy, but you can eat them and walk. Veggie wraps for those people that are trying to be a little bit more health conscious.
Last year we had, what did we have? We had a guy like doing like teriyaki chicken bowls, which were great. Like, I was all over that, and the chicken was really, really good, but it was definitely logistically more challenging to eat.
You can get a good bowl. Yeah, if the bowl's big enough, you have to have like reserve room in the bowl so that as you're mixing, you're not like, oh crap, I'm spilling everywhere.
Yeah. Well, guys, tell
Joel
us.
Says chili dog, and I absolutely we just said it can't be messy.
Yeah,
you're gonna get chili all over your models.
Chili dogs, but I always worry about the facilities there, the bathroom facilities. Like, we only have so many bathrooms.
Honestly, like, don't knock it, but just like a good quality sandwich truck, like just a good sandwich is.
I can appreciate good as deli on wheels.
You can have a variety of sandwiches. They're easy, they're portable. Hey, a good quality sandwich.
I kind of think what we need to figure out is to find a food truck that is like one of those like turkey legs. Like, I don't know if that's a thing that you get for food trucks, but it just feels like it'd be very appropriate for a 40K tournament. Just a giant turkey leg that people are chewing down on. Okay, so that's Rocky Mountain Open. Let's jump over into some nerd news. Now, guys, we forgot to say our beloved friend Nikki D is not here. He's suffering some hard times. He's sick. He's got an injured leg. Yeah. He's all over the place. He's falling apart on us
soon. Don't worry.
Yes, he will hopefully be back with us next week. If not, you'll see him at LVO. He did tell us today he's going to be at LVO. So we'll have to spearhead nerd news today. Seth, you want to take the first one here?
Yeah. So we talked about it like, I don't know, a month or two ago, and then it came out over the holidays. Rebel Moon. I watched it, and it definitely pulls from 40K, I think.
So much so.
Like I can't remember the name of the force, but it was like the people that worship the fallen emperor that walk around like commissars with maybe some tech admech like people.
Yeah,
that also help them out. You're like,
there's a Belisarius. I think one of the names. Yeah, like I know that. I don't know. There's just a lot of.
I enjoyed it. I heard some kind of negative reviews, but I didn't go into it like expecting like Oppenheimer levels. Like, oh my god, I feel like as a human race, we have made mistakes. I was like, I'm going to watch a good action movie and I'm going to paint some grots. And I did, and it was great. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's supposed to be a second one, I think, in April. So I'll be watching that one when it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it on the flight on overseas, and it was like, I mean, I was enjoying it. Like, it was an enjoyable series. I think that some people try to make every movie be some sort of like you said, some sort of like
cultural experience.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Like, or you can just enjoy a movie because it's entertaining and it doesn't have to be deep or anything. And so I thought it did a good job. It did move fast. There was a lot of characters that kind of came and went, but I thought it was enjoyable. Yeah. I'm excited for the second one. Check it out and just pretend it, like just go in and pretend, oh, this is a 40K movie. This is a really big budget 40K movie. You just go in with that mindset and you'll be happy.
Yeah, because you're like, I can see.
Yeah, makes sense. Here's this Agger world where the Imperium is coming, and anyway. So we've got another thing that I wanted to talk about: live action Star Wars for 2024. There's 2 new series that have been confirmed. Live action Star Wars series. We're gonna have Skeleton Crew and the Alkalite.
Oh,
so those will be coming in 24. I mean, everyone likes Mandalorian. Everyone likes Ahsoka. These are all good stuff. So let's see what comes from Skeleton Crew. Looks good. I want to see it.
I'm gonna propose a question to you, Kicker.
Yeah, shoot.
Star Wars is owned by Disney, just like Marvel, and Marvel has stated that they think the reason that their movies and shows haven't done so well is they've made too many too quick. Are we starting to get to that territory with Star Wars? Because you have Mandalorian, Kenobi, Oshaka, the Bad Crew.
There's the Andor or whatever. Andor,
we're starting to get a lot. There was
there's a lot.
The Book of Fett.
There's a lot. I think the thing with Star Wars, and chat, correct me if I'm wrong, Seth, feel free to shoot me down, but I think that in Star Wars, everyone's just waiting for their favorite character to have their own little spin-off, whether it's a movie or a mini series. Everyone that has Boba Fett got their Boba Fett little thing. I was stoked when the Han Solo movie, the Solo, came out. Like I'm happy. Like Solo is my favorite. Han Solo is my favorite character. Maybe if we can get like a Chewbacca spin-off, I could see a whole Chewie series. I'd be maybe even happier.
The dialogue is going to be real hard on that one.
Yeah, everything's in subtitles, right? But no, like I think that Star Wars has the I guess the advantage that there's so much love over the years that everyone wants their like little character to get a spotlight. And so you'll have that.
And as long as they don't make it like they made Marvel stuff where it's like, if in order to appreciate this series, you had to go watch these other ones. Because I've never seen the Solo film, but that didn't stop me from watching any other Star Wars movies I wanted to watch.
That's true. My son is 3, and just this morning I was like, when do I start watching Star Wars with him? And I realized that led me into the like, how do I watch Star Wars with my son? Do I start with like A New Hope, or do I start with Episode 1, or do I start with something?
You now face the quandary that so many nerd parents before have faced.
Yeah, and like it's even more complicated because now I have an entire series. So like I kind of wanted to watch it in chronological order of not when it was released, but just like in the timeline. But that means like we're watching an entire series of shit before we get to a New Hope. So who knows, man?
I would say, with kind of hindsight, maybe start them on just the films.
Yeah.
And definitely the prequel trilogy was much more targeted towards kids.
It was.
Like
it was.
there was kid, like everyone makes fun of the prequel trilogy being targeted for kids, but like at the time that Return of the Jedi came out, everyone was like, Ewoks, those are teddy bears, that's dumb. And it's like, at the time I watched that when I was a kid, I was like, Ewoks are amazing because I was a kid.
Yeah,
so
totally.
They all had fan service for kids in them at some level, but I think the prequels are, at least, if you want to get them started young, I'd probably go prequels. But chat says release order.
Release order.
Yeah.
You see, at least release order, you get the big surprise of like, I'm your father, right?
Yeah.
Like my son hasn't realized that Darth Vader,
And the other thing to think about, Kicker, is video quality, because obviously the special effects got better as time went.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you do it in chronological order, it's going to have kind of this like up down up like quality. Yeah. And I don't know if that's going to be a big deal for your son or not, but it's always easier to start at lower quality and build up.
It only get better.
Yeah.
It only gets better from here. So I don't want to go too much into a tangent of Star Wars stuff, but also coming out in 2024 is another season of Young Jedi Adventures. I know we're all grown-ups here, or even though we play with toys and whatnot, but
I was like, do you know what show we're doing currently?
Yeah, no, right? Young Jedi Adventures is definitely targeted towards a young demographic, kid age. It's a cartoon. I've watched it with my son. He loves it. The merchandising for this is like spot on. You can get all the action figures and stuffed animals for this series. But it's kind of cool if you do have a kid and you're watching it with them, because they've got all these Easter eggs for Star Wars geeks like you and me. They're like, oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, I know that character. That character's in that movie. So anyway, if you have a child and you want to watch some Star Wars stuff that is age appropriate for very young kids, Young Jedi Adventures is coming out with season 2. All right, let's jump to the main segment, Seth. Why don't you start it off? Give us a little introduction. What's happening in a few weeks?
In a few weeks, good. Yeah. You want to like have a panic moment, Kicker? It's officially like you and I are both traveling 2 weeks from today.
Oh shit! I
We have one more show before we're traveling. You and I will both be traveling 2 weeks from now for LVO.
Yeah.
So, LVO is literally kicking off in 2 weeks. It's the biggest event in wargaming at this point. It's the biggest 40K tournament. It's the biggest AOS tournament. You can tell me the full list at some point, Kicker. But
we obviously we're 40K centric, but I mean it's the largest Star Wars Legion tournament
and finals for so many events, many different.
Simon does a Song of Ice and Fire. The tournament's massive. MCP, we've got 200 MCP players just playing in the champs event. Like, geez, like what the hell?
I like to sort of think it's becoming the biggest party in wargaming as well. Yeah. Like, I'm sure I'm going to get immediately people in chat being like, Adepticon. I'm like, but like, Adepticon is not in the middle of Las Vegas.
Yeah. The thing that is interesting about LVO is that a lot of people, you just don't see them on Sunday because they party a little hard on Saturday night. Because, for most people, Sunday, they're not playing. Yeah. So it is a party. It is a fun vibe. We're going to have things like the giant GW preview on Thursday night and all that. So let's just talk about some of the newer stuff.
Because everyone knows about all the games, but what's the new things, Kicker?
We have the scavenger hunt from 2023 that everyone loved. That's coming 2024. Of course, we have the exhibitor hall, but we're adding things like Gamer Olympics. So on Friday night, there will be basically fun games for teams of 2 with a really cool prize. The prize I will announce.
The hosts for that are?
Yeah, Dayton from Party at the All Points. You know Dayton, right, Seth?
I do.
He's a character. It's basically just a funsy opportunity Friday night to hang out. It's during after hours, so there'll be a bar there open and all that. It'll be doing fun games like kind of like I don't know. Should I just like share some of the games? Which is
no. I don't think we. Just know it's going to test your abilities as a gamer.
Yeah.
And maybe some of your coordination.
Yes, some of your coordination. And the prize support for this is phenomenal.
And I'll be there Friday night as well, giving Dayton a hand and documenting the experience for everyone that couldn't make it.
Yeah. And there's no cost to participate or anything. You just show up. We are trying to do teams of 2. You can actually have teams of more than 2, but we're trying to make it fun for there to be at least 2 people per group or per team. And it's super fun. It's going to be about an hour. It'll be from I think 8:30 to 9:30. We'll have the formal master schedule released a week before the event, so everyone can kind of finalize that stuff. Yeah. The next new thing is the marketplace. So the exhibitor hall got bigger and bigger and bigger. We have all of our old exhibitors always seem to come back, and then we want new exhibitors coming in. So we've created this cool marketplace. It's in the corridor between basically the Star Wars hall and the everything else hall. So it's one of our, you pass up the 40K Champs hall, and then you have this long corridor section where we're gonna just have all these other vendors that are not like
smaller scale
big vendors. Name. Yeah, they're smaller guys. But it's small. They got good deals. They're local shops. They're people that have Etsy shops maybe, or people that create product at their own garage or whatever. So it's kind of just another opportunity to go in and browse and find some cool stuff.
You never know. If I find this Etsy supplier at LVO, I'm going to have a very serious conversation with them. There is a Votan shirt I want that is the Votan symbol and said that's a grudgeon, but they don't sell it in a 3X, so they sell it in a 2X. And I messaged them and they never responded. So if you're there, Etsy seller, I'm going to find you.
We've also got more demos than ever before. We've really encouraged a lot of our exhibitors. We didn't force them to, but we asked very nicely, like, hey, we don't want you just setting up shop and selling product. We really do encourage you to have your players interact, our customers, your customers, our attendees, the players there actually get to test out everything. Like, let's not just make this a shopping experience. Let's make this an opportunity to get to really know the products.
I understand from a sales standpoint that takes a lot more time with a customer, like sitting there and playing a game with them.
And square footage, because the exhibitors pay for their each square inch there, so they want to use
from a customer standpoint. Like, if it's not a game I already know I want to play, like, you're not going to sell me on just sitting there talk to me. Like, you make me sit down and play the game. And that's way back when I was in Maryland. The game store owner was very friendly, but he loved playing board games. The guy had like a storage unit full of just his own board game collection.
Oh, geez, wow.
But he would frequently just be like, if I was hanging out there on a Sunday and I wasn't playing 40K, he'd be like, he's starting a board game. He'd be like, Seth, come here, you're playing. And I don't know how many board games Whit introduced me to with that. And I'd play, and then I'm like, I guess I'm going to buy this one.
Yeah, yeah, right. It's like once you get a little taste of it, you're that much more likely to buy it. So, but not only get like games, but like really the painting guys are really stepping it up. So we didn't have Army Painter there last year. Army Painter though is coming back this year, and they're coming back in full force. They're really gonna be doing a lot of paint and takes. They've got
announced who their painters are going to be.
I don't want.
Back, and I'm gonna have to go look at who else was it.
Yeah, Caleb's coming, and I believe they're bringing in some of their crew from. It's actually the company from the Army Painter is based out of Europe, and I believe some of the crew is coming in from Europe. Actually, the owner I think is coming. Some of the guys are even playing in the 40K champs. But anyway,
the owner was able to because didn't he have to sell his or not sell, but he was raffling off.
So Bo's the owner. He is coming. He's just not playing.
So Caleb Weisenbach and Sam Lenz are the.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Their painting studios.
I think Adam will be there as well. Adam and Bravo will be there. So there'll be a full crew of the Army Painter there, and like I said, they'll be doing a very large paint and take. So you want to check that out because the Army Painter's really been.
Because I've been out of the regiment brush for like 2 months and I can't find it online. So I'm telling you right now, Army Painter, you just set a pile of the regiment brushes aside for me. I'm gonna buy them.
Hook your buddy Seth up. But also, like,
I'm not wanting free. I'll pay. I want the things. I just can't find them.
We also have what is Duncan Rhodes. He'll be there. He's our celebrity paint judge again, but he's coming with his whole paint shop. So
and they always do a paint and tank at our events, and it's always a lot of fun. It's always a good chance.
Yeah, and they're bringing their whole team again for this. So yeah, that alone is 2 different paint groups. But Artis Opus, they're coming back from Europe. That's a UK based company. They're coming and they're going to be doing a lot of like literally one-on-one. You get to go
Kicker's brand
down. Oh, that is my brand of brush. I love them. Those guys are amazing, and they will literally come. Like they'll take one person. You can just sit down and have a one-on-one painting instruction for free with Brian, like the guy that from the company that does all the videos online and stuff. So great opportunity there.
Hobby /paint supplies Monument.
Monument's coming. They have actually a very large booth. Monument has a lot of products they've been releasing.
You remember last year how I kind of got forced to buy their white? Well, now I'm gonna have to expand my collection.
Yeah. Monument Hobbies White is pretty legendary, and if you have a high roller package, I believe Monument Hobbies is supplying that as well again this year. I know last year they were one of the favorite little items in there. Yeah. Another big exhibitor we've got that is going to be having a very large presence. I was just looking at the exhibitor hall. I'm like, wow, you take up a lot of space. Catalyst. Now, you may not know who Catalyst is, but I guarantee you know who BattleTech is. Oh, yeah. BattleTech is one of the original tabletop sci-fi games, and they're coming with a very. I played
a bunch of the computer game back when, and then when they remember when they had a click-based game like.
They did, yeah.
I played a bunch of that too.
Well, Catalyst /BattleTech has a very large booth. They've also got a tournament taking place, both classic BattleTech and the newer version, which is called Alpha Strike. So there's BattleTech tournaments at the LVO, so you can go see it if you just want to see what the game's like. But then, of course, there'll be the whole booth there if you want to try and pick up the game yourself.
Yeah.
We've also got the scavenger hunt as we had last year, but we've added in a prize room that will kind of tie into the scavenger hunt. I don't want to go too much into the details, but basically you'll be able to choose your prize from an assortment of
cool stuff. Armed guard on the prize room, and if so, what is his schedule?
I mean, I guess I am technically the guard, but I am far from
he's
armed.
Distractible. Don't worry.
Yeah, right.
We're good.
Yeah, I'm easily. If you give me a box of cereal, I will totally forget about what's going on in front of me. And the really cool thing is the after hours too. That's something I really want to talk about. The after hours is taking place Friday night, basically after the last round of most of the tournaments. You go hang out in the Amazon Hall, which is like the second largest hall there, and basically a lot of other tournaments are doing events. There's Kill Team and Warcry and fun versions of Star Wars Legion and Shatterpoint. There's a sold out Shatterpoint. So basically it's all these other fun, more casual minded tournaments taking place, and there will be a bar there and stuff. So after hours is definitely something you should consider doing Friday night if you're like, I'm not really sure what I want to
dabble in some other game systems.
Yes. And that's really the intent. Is a lot of people are like, I'm going in to play 40K. We have like 2,000 people coming to this event just to play 40K, which is great. I love 40K. I play 40K.
But I have news with 40K players. There's only how many of them that are going to make it to Sunday Kicker?
Yeah, right. Only 8 get. So we have about 1,200, but I realistically with attrition, we're not going to have all 1,200. We have 1,200 people like looking at playing 40K for champs, but only 8 get to play on Sunday. Now there's other things like the long war doubles on Sunday, the Sunday RTT, all that other stuff.
There's plenty of other stuff. But the point is, I'm not trying to discourage any of the LVO 40K champs attendees, but only 8 of you are actually going to make it through the 6 rounds undefeated after the shadow round.
So it's good to have other games in mind. Now, the after hours is Friday night, so you played 3 rounds of your 40K champs. Sunday night, you might be a little tired, but go get a drink, hang out, maybe try Shatterpoint, or watch people play Shatterpoint.
The day that you're the freshest.
It is. That's why we're doing after hours. Is we want to make it the first night of the event. So anyway,
Sunday night after hours, everyone will be like, "Can I die now?"
Screw you guys, I'm going home. So after hours Friday night, check it out. Seth, we just talked about something interesting. We're talking about 40 key champs, how big it is. The 40 key champs at LVO now is basically officially a 10-round event, which means that if you are going to go play in the top 8 on Sunday, there's no choice. You're going to have to play a 4th round on Saturday. Basically, we used to call it the shadow round, which was kind of like, if those were kind of like the people that were tied to go in it. No. The top 16 from Saturday are going to have to play that 4th round to determine who plays on Sunday. It's just because we have too many people. So, guys, if you are seriously thinking you're going to go win this event, make sure you plan to play a 4th round on Saturday night.
Plan your endurance correctly.
Yeah. Find a friend that will bring you food, but be prepared to play a 4th round on Saturday so you can make it to Sunday.
I think Kicker, an industrious, 40K player, could caddy themselves, offer their services as a caddy for some of those.
No, we need 40K caddies. That should be a thing.
But you'd be like, hey man, I'll pick you up dinner for a price.
Yeah, no, totally. No, seriously, I think this should become a thing for us. I think all the, we need Jack Harpster and Stephen Box to all have their 40K caddies following them along, just offering them food and stuff.
Jack's streaming. He doesn't need a caddy.
He is. Yeah, that came up today. Yeah, Jack is actually not playing in the tournament this year. He is going to be co-hosting the live stream with Joe himself. Joe Forkins Live.
The stream games with Joe.
Actually, that's a really nice segue. Let's jump right into it, Seth. Frontline Entertainment News, man. What's going on?
Well, obviously, Joe is getting ready for LVO, which reminds me I have more work.
He's driving across the country.
I have more work to do with Joe. Thanks for reminding me, Kicker. I wasn't stressed enough. Thanks. But our buddies over at Grim After Dark are back at it. They moved their show to Tuesday nights to accommodate a certain McDevitt school schedule. And then they decided to personally attack me. Once again, I'm fairly convinced after speaking with their producer today that every episode of Grim After Dark has a personal insult lot aimed at me. And I'm going to have to start fighting back somehow, Kicker. Our friends over at Fury's Finest, which is the audio MCP podcast that's part of our network, they're breaking down their 2024 plans for all the events they want to go to and then what they want to do with MCP for that year. And then our other audio-only show, the Squadcast, which is the Kill Team podcast, they brought on Ben from the Battle Brothers Tabletop to go over their Kill Team goals for 2024. So I thought it was kind of fun to point out some of the other game systems because certainly I know a lot of people like to have a little bit of a palate cleanser after the end of the year with LVO. So, the game system's always a good palate cleanser.
Yeah. Love it, man. Love it. We do our poll every week on the Frontline Gaming Facebook community group. And this week, we want to know who should we be watching at the LVO? We have our opinions, we have our thoughts, but what does the community think? Who does the community think we should be, streaming, or who should we be following or tracking during the LVO to see where they end up? So we asked people, and we got a few. Seth, you and I can just bounce this back and forth. But the first one, Ben Proots says Jack Harpster, and I already told you Jack is not going to be playing. Jack is going to be.
You could certainly watch him on stream.
Yeah, you can watch him.
Actually, no, Jack. You'll listen to him. You won't watch him.
You'll listen to him. You'll watch the other guys. But Jack did win 2023, so he doesn't have to prove anything at this point.
He doesn't. He's good, man. He's like, yeah, whatever. I'm good. He's taking a victory lap.
Yeah, victory lap. Right.
Christian from Iceland said that there's been some mentoring, a few other Icelanders in attendance. So he's rooting for Michael Hopper and John King from Iceland. We had last year was kind of a big year for a lot of the European guys coming over, and there were a number of Icelanders coming over. So it's glad to see they're coming back.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm from America. I love America, but I'd be very happy to see a guy from Iceland win the LVO. Will P says Alfarius is going to win. Thank you, Will.
Alfarius, Kicker.
Alfarius.
Yeah. James
I can't say it.
Musdon.
I don't know.
Is rooting for Jake Harding, aka Handsome Jake from Vanguard Tactics. So certainly the Vanguard Tactics guys, they always make a good run of it. I would like to see someone break into that top 8. For personal reasons, not that I'm on the team or anything that I'm rooting for, but I think it would be fun to see.
I was talking with Stephen Box from Vanguard Tactics recently, and they have a very large showing coming in from Vanguard Tactics. Vanguard Tactics, I think, is going to be one of the larger teams in attendance this year. And also they have their workshop.
Vanguard Tactics jersey on underneath my FLG polo.
Jeez.
Might be a bit warm though. I don't know if
they'll be and they got their workshop on Thursday. Yep. Not too late to sign up for that. I think there's 1 or 2 tickets left, but I think that's
a good chance to get a refresher on just a few things you might be rusty on before the event kicks off.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why they have so many guys coming in from the UK. So many of their coaches are coming in because they're helping with the workshop, which has gotten so big. So they're sticking around to play some 40K too, and not just coach. Mark Whitaker says he's rooting for Daniel Olivas and Ben Jurek from his own from Smite Club. He's been watching through the years, and this year in particular, they seem to be really solid. And Ben has been doing really, really good.
He was been on a tear for the last year.
Yeah.
And I am excited to see him continue. My good buddy Noah Bedome, which we spent a lot of time hanging out with at LSO, accomplished player in his own right. He's rooting for Tyler Bortel from the Rose City Ruffians out of Oregon. So Tyler's a very technical player. He's really good at kind of planning and pre-measuring and kind of, I almost want to say, negating a lot of what you can do. So Tyler's certainly a guy that's had a good run in the past, but he's due for that breakout performance, I think. So it's always worth to keep an eye on him.
I know Noah's always bringing knights, and he's really good with his knights. I don't know if he's bringing knights to LVO, but do we know what Tyler's bringing to LVO?
Tyler typically stays in the Tyranid Genestealer cult vein. He doesn't deviate from that too much. He's kind of like Alex McDougal in that effect.
Well, another bug player, specifically Genestealer cult player, is Robin Roberts, who he comes to a lot of our events, and he's just a really cool guy. He said something really good that I think we should all just kind of really take to heart. He says, always bet on yourself. And I'm like, you know what? That's great advice.
You should. For Vegas.
It's perfect for Vegas. So let's end it on Robert's words of wisdom right there. Bet on yourself to win the LVO. Seth, we got some community highlights when it comes to.
And I pulled one that I think you're going to really like, Kicker. So
all right, let's see it.
So every week we're over on our Frontline Gaming community Facebook page, posting up kind of what we've been working on. It's a great chance to show off what you've been working on or your work in progress. This one is from David Chips. He says he's been working on this one for LVO. I'm very excited to see the finished product. So come find me when you get there, David. But Kicker, look at that guardsman.
Ooh. Okay, describe it, Seth.
It is. You'd have to tell me the rank of the guardsman, but it is a guardsman with a power sword and a bolt pistol, and a decapitated what appears to be Tyranid warrior.
That is so cool.
A nice little scenic base there. There's even a little skull of another unfortunate guardsman right there in the base because it's not 40K without skulls.
Yeah, you gotta have skulls. It is impressive how some people seem to spend more time on the base than on the miniature, especially with guardsmen who are so small and they're just a regular Joe, average Joe, nothing special. But let's make that base as epic as possible. Yeah, no, love it, dude. Love it.
Up next, my good buddy John Daly. He's been getting back into painting. And he's been working on this nice metallic blue Contemptor Dreadnought. I always like to see the kind of tinted metallics. They always turn out really well. So,
do you think he did contrast over like a lead belt, or what do you think he did there?
Because I think he's done a few different ways. So I'll have to ask him kind of which one he did for this one. Cool. But a lot of times it is some sort of translucent contrast over a lead belcher.
That's good.
And then frequent poster over on the community page. Gerode has been working on a Knights commission. And this is his definitely not heretical Knight Lancer. Definitely not heretical spider-legged Knight Lancer. Kicker, you built the Knight Lancer kit. I didn't realize that spider legs were an option.
Yeah, not a standard option, at least not in the kit I have. It looks like he took an Ogner Dune Crawler, one of those AdMech big walking things, and put it on his knight. I don't know what he did,
and then he
but it's definitely
kind of make it the right height. But yeah,
it's a Lancer though. It's got the spear, it's got the shield.
Touch heretical, I'd say.
It's perfect. I love it. I love
That's
it.
it for
Very
our
cool.
community spotlight this week. Don't forget, keep your eyes out. Post up whatever you're working on. Whenever I always go through and kind of check the last week's post just to see if there's anyone who posted anything else they're working on. I usually am going to be up there posting, or Patrick Martin are going to be up there posting on Wednesdays with kind of, hey, show off what you've been doing if you didn't post already. But feel free to share your work in progress, get some feedback from the community. It's always a good time. But Kicker, that brings us to the end of our second to last episode before LVO. Any final thoughts for the night?
No, guys, just wish us luck. We're really excited to see you all at LVO. I a lot of people are hitting us up with emails. There's a pretty small but very dedicated team trying to reply to everything. We have Adam handling a lot of the rules questions directly. Adam, our head judge. We have me doing a lot of the events kind of stuff. But when it comes to like customer support, like I think we got like 3 or 4 folks that are working like literally 18-hour days, just trying to get to everyone's emails and support everyone. So bear with us. Our turnaround time, we're trying to keep it to no more than 48 hours, but we are trying to respond as quickly as we can. And as always, if you don't hear from us in an email,
questions sent on cereal boxes to Kicker's personal address definitely reach priority.
Immediate response, always immediate response, definitely. Especially I'm in a corn pops mood right now, so corn pops definitely will get you directly to the front of the line. But no, seriously though, guys, thank you. I know some people will get a little frustrated because they want a response the same day, but give us a day or two and we'll get back to you. And like I said, we're really excited to see you at Vegas.
Looking forward to it soon. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Signals from the Frontline. Have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Good night.